Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Pavan, an Olympian and beach volleyball world champion and a longtime professional indoor player.
And I'm Adam, former indoor player and coach, current beach volleyball coach, and most importantly, Sarah's husband.
Today, we are watching Season 2, Episode 12 of Haikyu called Let the Games Begin.
Now, I thought that there might be like an episode or two in between them starting the tournament, but this title makes me think we're going right to gameplay, baby.
Well, no, we kind of, remember we saw the highlights of all the different aces that they're gonna have to beat. We saw the different schools prepping.
Yeah, but I was wondering if there was gonna be like a little bit of a, I don't want to call it a filler episode, but like going back to the school, traveling home, a little character building, like just a little lull before we get into like matches for the rest of the season. But I don't think I'm gonna have to wait.
The boys have a couple rounds of buys because they performed well in the last tournament. So they're gonna have to wait and see who they play. But the training camp ended well. It was disappointing that they weren't able to steal that set from Fukurodani. But we saw some more interesting dynamics between Bokuto and his team, a little cringy, a little desperate. But yeah. And the barbecue.
I mean, the barbecue scene was fun. Everybody eating, stuffing their faces, a little having fun at some people's expense.
Yashi terrified.
Yeah, it was good. It was a nice way to end the training camp. The camaraderie was good. And now, you know, you kind of ratchet up and you're all enemies to qualify for the tournament. But that's the way it should be.
Well, we know Adam lives for tournament play. So the assumption is he's getting what he wants this episode. So let's not keep our man waiting any longer, okay?
Here we go.
Season 2, Episode 12 of Haikyu is coming right now.
I love the shoe cubbies. We never got those.
That's because North Americans are dirty.
Hi.
Although I will say that the backed-in stage is like such a public school feel.
この前のインターハイ予選、青葉城西とフルセットやってギリギリまで追い詰めたってとこ。おお、マジか。
Ooh, now they're legend.
Yeah.
コート上の王様がいるんだと。千鳥山中の西野へもいるらしいよ。中学の時ベストリベロの？そう。でもさ、リベロ以外にもう一人、正常の及川のサーブまともにレシーブしてたやついたよな。確か首相だ。でもカラスノってあんまでかいってイメージないよな。190近いやつが一人いたはず。インターハイ予選の時はあんま目立ってなかった気する。
It's crazy how the
あとさ、
talk about the team changes within one
パワースパイ
tournament.
カーって感じで。そんで、なんつう
Tanaka.
マネが可愛い。つうか美人つうかエロい。あとはやっぱあれだろう。ちっこいのにミドルブロッカーでむちゃくちゃな速攻打ってくる。カラスノの10番。っておい、なんかすげえげっそりしてる。
ひなた大丈夫？大丈夫大丈夫。来る途中で履いたし。
I threw up on the way here, so all's well.
朝から大量にカツ丼とかそら酔うわ。
勝負の日はカツ食うだろ普通。
普通とは一体。
このボケ、ひなたクソボケ。
影山の罵倒ボキャブラリーはボケだけだな。
頑張って増やします。
I'll do my best to widen my book.
思い出したら俺がイエローしそう。
早くトイレ行きなよ。
Oh, our little baby.
Oh boy.
集中してんなと思ったらゲロ我慢してたのかよ。
そうよ。バスでゲロるの2回目って本当か。他人の股間にリバースせずバスが止まるまで我慢するなんて成長したなひなた。
And the legend dims just a little.
Yeah. See behind the curtain.
ごめんなさい。すみません、すみません。お、この人、扇南。初戦で当たるチームだ。1回戦勝ってた。
あ？
なんだ中学生か。
Oh dear.
おい、どうなって悪かったな。兄貴の応援にでも来たのか。俺の弟もそれと同じ T シャツがお気に入りだよ。
うわ、俺は烏野高校1年日向翔陽です。優勝して全国へ行きます。
That's always the outburst.
烏野簡単に全国とか言ってんじゃねえよ。
でも本当
He
です。
sounds like a crotchety old man.
Yeah.
全部倒して東京行きます。
万一ラッキーで勝ち進むことがあってもな、どいつもこいつも白鳥沢に潰されんだよ。せいぜいいい思い出作りしようぜ。前の試合終わった。
Oh my gosh, that's so awkward. Like, oh yeah, my little brother loves that shirt too. It's like almost Mean Girls style, but he wasn't trying to be mean.
No, it was just
Oh, it's
like
just-
that's just what he looks like, and it's
That's tough.
yeah. But it doesn't seem to bother him. He just like stands there and yells, "I'm going to national and to beat you," and then away he
No,
goes.
I think it does bother him, but it's also like I hate how he keeps saying, "I'm gonna beat everyone and I'm gonna go to nationals." It's like I thought we got past that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get ripped apart for saying that, by the way. I'm already ready.
Yeah. I think it's. Go ahead.
No, sorry.
I mean, he's by himself. He's doing that. He's really a team first guy, I think. But it's just like, that's what happens when you're confronted with like, hey, you're a little kid, and you just want everyone to know, like, I'm for real.
And I'm sorry, but that guy looked a little pale coming out of the bathroom too, so I think he was throwing up.
Maybe. That didn't cross my mind.
That's my Ogi Minami hot take.
Oh, they look ready to rumble.
They're like growling.
大木みなみって
I'm sorry.
木みたいなやつばっかっすね。
What's going into Tanaka?
No, did you hear what they said?
No.
They went on the court, they're like, the game's over, let's go, and they cheered. And those guys from Ogi Minami were like, how about you shut up, or whatever he said.
No, I missed that.
No, that was totally provoked because I heard that and I was like, you're kidding me.
Oh, you get.
You know what? I played somebody like this just recently, and you know what I had to do? I had to talk to her after the match.
You sure did.
Adam was watching on the live feed because he wasn't there, and afterward he texted me and he's like, what went down between you and that girl at the end of your match? And I was like, well, let me tell you. She had a little attitude, okay? That is what happened, and clearly that is a trigger for me because I'm angry now.
But I thought Tanaka would have a different reaction. He looked kind of like taken aback or shy. I figured
No,
he'd be...
he was like, oh, looks like Ogi Minami's a bunch of punks.
Okay, well...
What are we gonna do about
I'm curious
it?
to see what happens here.
No, I'm fired up.
Nice key. 坊主とかマジダセえしマジでマジ
参ります。よろしくお願いいたします。よいしょこら
ナイスキー。
お粗末様でございました。
I love when their eyeballs kind of quiver.
Yeah. Oh, now I just
Game
want them
over.
to roll them. These are the teams that you want to like beat the snot out of.
'Cause
Like
they're like, you're
shooting
not
for a
good.
25-13 win here.
Like your attitude is terrible and like you're not good, but you're
Yeah.
gonna also have that attitude. Give me a break.
And then you just walk off the floor and be like,
You're not worth my time.
no, exactly.
向こうはすでに
Exactly.
3年が抜けてるが、もともと2年が主力のチームだ。今回の1回戦もストレートで勝ち上がってきてる。
The one thing that does make me a little nervous though is that they haven't played yet and the other team's found its rhythm.
インターハイ予選が終わってからここまで慣れないことに挑戦し始め噛み合わず関東の強豪相手に練習試合通算約
I'm gonna bring you
70
back down to earth, okay?
でも最初失敗ばかりだった新しい武器は今形になりつつあります今までの悔しさに見合うだけの勝利を手にして
I like how matter of fact he is.
Oh,
He's in the house! They're the same height. Yeah, boy.
Oh, I have goosebumps from that.
Yeah, I love that line.
That's why I play the game, baby.
I love that sentiment though, and it's just like, all you can ever do is apply pressure on someone and see how they respond.
Break them.
Yep. And just that mentality of like, nothing is guaranteed, you never deserve to win, but you can always win.
That's why I hate when teams think they have like an easy matchup or like a really hard matchup. It's like, you never know what can happen here, and that's the beauty of sport.
That's why you play.
100% is just like literally anything could happen on any given day.
I totally agree. But I hope they roll in 25-13.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye bye.
You don't have so much to say now, do you?
Yeah, baby. Tipping it.
Ooh, that's a... He didn't
Red
even dive,
like
he was
a
so
buck.
there. That's such a good feeling.
前よりよく見える気がする。
扇南は1回戦の時から少しでもレシーブが乱れたら速攻は使ってこない。レフト。
That hurts.
Ooh, I love that feeling.
Goosies.
They're not even close.
I'm so proud of them.
Yeah.
Look at that haircut. Ha!
Not bad.
That's a beatdown.
Yeah.
またこんな強いとこと当たるなんて。
I kind of like that they came out and just smacked him. And, you know, it's interesting. They haven't had a ton of success doing what they've been doing. So for them to come out and be consistent, even against a team that's not up to their level, that speaks to the work that they put in and the confidence that they've built. No,
That's how Adam sees it.
it's true. And I like that, you know, they're fired up, but they didn't get too rattled by what happened. It was just like, we're gonna do the things we're gonna do, and this is business. We're gonna take care of it. So hopefully they can keep that going in the second set, but
I got
like what I
goosebumps
saw.
a couple times already.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes. They would get pizza from your coach for sure.
Yes, sir.
Oh, look at his little peacock hair.
首相の声は白鳥沢の応援と張り合ってガラガラになってた。
Well, that's an overpass.
追ったところで届かない。届いたところで得点につながるとは限らない。
繋がったところでちっぽけで意味のない一点だ。
He just gave up?
そんなもんにすがったって仕方ない。
I like that guy. Ooh, a backstory.
Look at that guy on the right.
What's with the peacock feathers?
でもお前らがいなかったら試合に出ることもできなかったよ。ありがとうな。お前らはもともとガタイもセンスもいいんだし、頑張れよ。
That's a nice one. Yeah, baby.
翔ちゃんすげえ、横に飛んだ。
すっげえ。
全部倒して東京行きます。
俺は虚勢を張ったわけじゃない。本当にそうするつもりだ。あの小さい体であの牛若を倒すつもりだ。
Here's something again.
Yeah.
頑張ろう。勝敗なんかより
It doesn't take long and they all
君
take
た
him
ちが
seriously.
頑張ることに意味があるんだ。
おいこら、静かになる
アッキー君首相。
な。なんでお前ら喧嘩はできるくせにバレーになると弱腰になるんだよ。
弱腰。
いくらすごんだってこっちは2階だから怖くないもんね。
あの人何しに来たんだ。
ちょっと押されるとすぐ諦める。それを弱腰だって言うんだ。これはお前らの勝負だからどうしようとお前らの勝手だ。でも一個だけ言っとく。本気も必死も一生懸命もかっこ悪くない。
So let me backhand you, huh?
That takes a lot of courage. I don't know anything about that guy and I don't like that team.
Are you crying?
No.
I'm really hoping.
As I was saying, I don't like that team. They look like a bunch of thugs. What?
No.
However, to want to be that cool guy or to have that aura, and then anytime you come out and put your goals out on display in public of what you're trying to accomplish, that takes an incredible amount of courage. So I'll give them respect for that.
I have a couple thoughts.
Hit me.
First of all, they care so much about how they look. They didn't try hard enough, okay? The one guy's flat top. The other guy's like greased back, long hair. The other guy's, he has no binocular vision because his eyes are touching. So there's that. Secondly, I can't tell you the number of people I've played with that have been so preoccupied with what other people think that it like takes front and center stage, even in competition. And it's just like paralyzing.
Yep.
It's not good. It doesn't work, okay?
You gotta let your play take care of that, and only thing you focus on is the performance you put on the court.
And I hate to say it, hate to break it to these guys, but nobody cares. Nobody's paying attention to Ogi Minami. They're like, who won that game? Perfect, we'll play them. Nobody's gonna like be thinking about anything else. They just want to know who they're playing next and if they're still playing or not, you know?
I'm curious to see if the speech works and if they have a little bit of pushback. Like, I'm thinking this set could be like 26-24.
Oh, whoa, you went like overtime with that.
I think it might be. I'm curious how Karasuno, with a little pushback, given that they haven't had a ton of success with their new things, do they revert back to some old habits to try and win? Do they keep going? What happens if they're down 2 points? Is Hinata still gonna call for that same set? Like, this to me could be like kind of a defining moment for them if they push back.
I'm not going to comment further.
Fair. I do like Tanaka's Matrix move of
No,
challenge accepted.
I was like,
No, he's gonna.
I know.
All right, here we go.
Oh, perfect. Perfect timing. I saw it. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Rolling thunder.
Oh, I was completely wrong.
He's like, yeah, I trained him up.
He's gonna be proud of his grandson. That's a tough mindset to break.
Dangerous.
I love the imagery in this show.
腐らずにここまで来た連中には簡単に揺るがない強さがある。
第3ナイスレシーブ。
It's a good run.
10点差だよ。くそつ。まだ大丈夫。頑張れ。影はもう一本。
Ace to finish.
Oh, 23 on.
影山サーブキレキレっすね。だな。これでマッチポイント。
毎回土壇場に追い詰められたから練習不足を後悔すんだよな。
影山、もう一本ナイスだ。
カラスノと扇南の試合、思ったより早く終わりそうだから、もう次の準備しようぜ。ああ、実力差あると本当早いな。まだ終わってない。諦めんな。
Go.
ギリ届くか。間に合わねえか。まあ俺たちまだ2年だし、来年もチャンスあるしな。
ってなるから弱いままなんだろうが。ラストつなげ。
What's up? Ooh, angle swing.
A little calm down.
俺は確かに奴を見くびった。全国に行くなんてバカだと思ったから。バカは俺か。
Gunslinger. 25-13. Called it.
But I think it's like bigger than that. It's just like they can walk off the court now knowing that they gave a full effort. Like it's such a self-protection mechanism where when it's like, yeah, but like we didn't, you know, try.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's something so noble about, even if you're getting crushed, to like continue to give a maximal effort, because at the end of the day, you're the only one that has to live with yourself and the true knowledge of how much effort you put in. And I think it's so much, you know, better.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And you'll see like that kind of effort at the end can translate to your off season, to how much work you put in, to seeing your captain or your leader do that. Like those are the kind of moments that can change the course of the team over a year, I think. Again, I don't really know them, but...
Got a lot of goosebumps this episode already.
Do we get to see another match this episode?
初戦突破ですね。
That's what you get for talking smack.
Well, see you later.
頑張れよ。
師匠。ありがとうございました。
You never know the impact you can have on a group of people. Or a single person.
Oh.
なんか遠近感狂うよな。俺さっき廊下で隣に立ってみたけどめっちゃでかかった。そりゃでかいわ。だって2メートルだぞ。
Is this Oni?
えげつねえ。狂気。身長が狂気。
田中、バナナ似合う。
Wait. Is that like a thing?
What thing?
She has never made a comment about any other player.
Okay, see, I had that instinct also when I watched it the first time through, but then people were telling me that it's because he's like an animal and she sees him as like a monkey. I had the same instinct, like, oh man, she is like, he has given her some vibes.
That's what I thought. That would have been my instinct based off that comment. But I wonder if the translation's not exactly accurate. He looks in his natural habitat with the banana. Like, is that what we're shooting for?
You jumped on that.
次の相手決まったな。
200?
次の試合方は
2 meters.
200 centimeters.
10月の代表決定戦へ進める。絶対突破するぞ。
本当に一回負けるだけで終わり
Yeah,
なんだ。
Yashi and Adam, same page. Can't get over that. One and done.
相手は2メートル。でっけえな。
There's always one guy.
201センチと162センチか。
四捨五入すれば俺は163セン
201
チ。
センチと162センチ。40センチ差か。
いけよ。40センチなんてケイティちゃんと同じサイズだよ。そんなに大きくないよ。
それはフォローなの？テカチュウも確か40センチ。 フジクジラも。
フジクジラ？
何それ？サメの一種。月博識。フジクジラと合体したい。
It's so on brand.
俺は2メートル。おい、何を言っている？お前、本気でビビってんのか？
行くぞ。
No rest. Man.
ついフジ
Rowan,
クジラ
good
に
thing
く
they
っつ
beat
い
them
ちゃい
so
ました
handily.
けど大丈夫でしょうか、ひなた。
試合前ではあんなでもきっと。
ですよね。
さあいよいよか。しかしあんなでかいのが対戦相手とはな。いやいや、今のカラスのなら関係ねえ。そうだろ、鵜飼先生。さあどうかな。高校男子は体が出来上がってねえし、プレー自体も未完成だ。
It's true.
だからこそ一人の大エースや常識外れにでけえやつの存在が勝敗を分けることもある。そんな
The big shivers.
I wonder how mobile he's gonna be.
大きな武器だ。それに対してカラスのがどう戦っていくのか。行くぞー。
Now he's gonna have to dig some balls this match.
見物だな。
Oh baby.
I mean, it's definitely true. Well, you would never understand this because you were that person. I would imagine on the women's side in high school.
Yep. Well, you were tall.
I was tall, but there was always somebody, like, guys are taller. We played against a couple guys who were like 6'10".
Like, Adam's a tall man, but like, he's not an obscenely tall man.
Yeah.
I, however, am an obscenely tall woman.
Yeah, like I can only imagine what the chatter on other teams in high school when you were playing, when you were going up and smashing balls as a lefty inside the attack line. Like they're like, I'm gonna get hurt. Like that's you did that.
I don't know what to say.
It's just a statement. It's fact.
Yep, I was bigger than everybody.
Yeah.
But women finished growing in high school, so everybody had reached their like height.
Yeah.
I was still the tallest.
I mean, I think it'll cause them a little bit of issue at the beginning. They'll be a little nervous, maybe some swings that go out, but they'll settle in. Like, unless that team is really good and he puts them over the top, one guy, especially in volleyball, can't win you the match.
I mean, I understand what Grandpa Ukai is saying. Like, when the athletes haven't finished developing and growing, having a player like that on your team is like a massive asset for
100%.
sure. It will definitely even out as they get older and finish growing. I think the things worth considering are like, is he a coordinated tall person or a really awkward tall person? Because both exist.
What's his competitive attitude like? Is he passive? Is he aggressive? Can he make those clutch swings? Like, it's definitely to his advantage, but it's not the end all and be all.
Yes.
I have to think they're gonna win this match. That's my prediction.
Don't look at me for answers.
I know. I'm throwing it out there.
They were firing on all cylinders though, okay?
They
Asahi
played really well.
had that spin serve going, so did Kageyama.
We didn't see Hinata miss a serve.
Hinata and Kageyama had that connection down. Daichi reading stuff in the back row. Tanaka
Thumb
with
down
his
angle
like
swing.
angle swing, he usually likes to go high line. They looked great.
Yep.
They look great.
Didn't see any errors. Score would dictate that they were pretty consistent. I mean, I think they just have to do the same thing and they should be okay.
Take care of their side, focus
Yeah.
on themselves. I love that Grandpa Ukai showed up. Not just because he's an older babe, but because he's invested now.
Does he look good with a banana?
What?
I just
See,
thought it was funny.
there's one of us who needs to be the comedic relief, and it's not Adam.
See you next time.
So anyways, everybody, hit us up with your comments below. Let us know what you think. I'd also be so excited if you would like this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for the matchup against the very tall boy next week. Bye.